On May 20th, 2026, Toyota quietly added another 44,000 model year 2024 Tundra trucks to the V35A engine recall, pushing the total vehicle count to nearly 270,000 units across 3 separate recall campaigns in less than 2 years. Toyota admitted that even with those added measures, debris is still slipping through and damaging the #1 main bearing. Read that line again, because it might be the most important sentence in this entire story. And that single admission, buried inside last week's NHTSA filing, blows the corporate cover story wide open. Toyota's legendary reliability isn't just failing, it's being staged. While thousands of Tundra engines seize, the company claims manufacturing debris is the culprit. But the truth is far more calculated. This isn't a simple factory mistake. It's a multi-billion-dollar masterclass in narrative control designed to protect your truck's resale value at any cost. If you own a 2022 through 2025 Tundra, Sequoia, or Lexus LX or GX with the V35A engine, the story you've been told about why these motors are seizing on the highway was written by Toyota's lawyers and PR team, not by their engineers. And in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly how that story was built, why it was built, and what it's costing you every single day that truck sits in your driveway. This is data pulled directly from NHTSA, recall filings, independent engine teardowns, and class action discovery documents you won't see covered anywhere else on YouTube in this kind of detail. Let's start with the precision of this crisis, because that's the part that should make every Tundra owner pause. The V35 twin-turbo V6 was supposed to be Toyota's clean sheet replacement for the bulletproof 5.7-liter iForce V8, a motor that ran for nearly 2 decades without a single major engine recall. Toyota told America this new engine would be quieter, more efficient, more powerful, and just as reliable as the V8 it replaced. Then the failures started, and they didn't trickle in. They hit in a wave. Brand new 2022 and 2023 Tundras, some with fewer than 20,000 miles on the odometer, started seizing solid at highway speed. Owners reported knocking sounds at cold start, sudden loss of power on the interstate, and crankshafts that locked up so hard the trucks coasted to a stop in the right lane. By the time the first recall hit in May 2024, Toyota had already received over 800 warranty claims and 166 field reports tied to this engine. By October 2025, those numbers had ballooned to 2,604 warranty claims and 303 field reports, and the NHTSA complaint database held over 3,000 owner submissions. That is not the failure pattern of a brand that earned its reputation on running 1,000,000 miles. That is the failure pattern of a brand new platform that was rushed into production. And the way Toyota chose to explain it to the public, that the failures were caused by microscopic metal shavings left behind during manufacturing, is one of the most suspiciously convenient corporate explanations in the history of the American truck market. Now look at the anatomy of that scapegoat, because the more closely you examine the debris claim, the more it falls apart. Toyota's official position is that during the machining of the engine block, tiny chips of metal called swarf were not fully cleaned out before assembly. They claim those microscopic chips got picked up by the oil system, carried to the main bearings, and over time caused the bearings to fail. On the surface, it sounds plausible. Metal debris in an engine genuinely can destroy bearings, but the framing does something very specific. It implies a temporary cleanliness lapse in a specific factory during a specific production window, not a permanent design problem. That distinction is everything. A cleanliness lapse can be cordoned off, blamed on a wash bay, and erased with a one-time fix. A design flaw lives inside every engine ever produced on that architecture, and it can't be cleaned away no matter how many short blocks Toyota swaps in. By framing this as debris, Toyota told the public, told used buyers, told lenders, and told insurance companies that the V35A engine itself is fine. The implication is that once your engine is replaced, you're back to a normal Toyota that will run forever. That single piece of framing is what allowed Toyota to avoid the kind of brand-collapsing headlines that hit Hyundai during the Theta 2 engine crisis. And it diverted public attention away from the much more uncomfortable questions about the twin-turbo V6 architecture itself, the bearing tolerances, the oil weight specification, and whether this engine was ever durable enough for full-size truck duty in the first place. That brings us to the real motive, which is protecting the resale fortress. The Toyota Tundra sits in the top 10 vehicles in America for value retention at the 5 and 7 year mark. That ranking is not decorative. It is worth billions of dollars to Toyota Motor North America every single year. High residuals let Toyota offer lower lease payments than competitors on the same MSRP. They let dealers move trade-ins faster with bigger margins. They prop up loyalty rates because owners who get strong trade-in numbers come back and buy another Toyota. If Toyota had labeled the V35A failures a design defect, every one of those financial pillars would have cracked simultaneously. Instead, by calling it debris and pairing that explanation with a free engine replacement on a limited recall scope, Toyota stabilized the used market almost immediately. The message to buyers was simple. The bad batches have been identified. The bad batches are being purged. The legacy is intact. And that message, repeated by every major automotive outlet that took the recall language at face value, saved Toyota an estimated $3 to $5 billion in projected trade-in equity, brand loyalty, and residual losses. The recall wasn't just a fix, it was a financial firewall, and every owner who trades their V35A truck in over the next 5 years is paying for that firewall whether they realize it or not. Now look at the engineering red flags, because this is the part Toyota cannot make go away with a press release. In late 2025, independent teardown specialist, when he opened this engine, the top end was nearly pristine. The camshafts, the timing components, the cylinder heads, everything that oil flows past on its way to the bottom end was clean. Then he pulled the bed plate, and the lower end told a completely different story. 2 of the 4 main bearings were spun in their saddles, with heat damage, scoring, and metal transfer onto the crankshaft. The oil pan was full of silvery metallic flakes. But the rod bearings, which sit on the same crankshaft and are fed by the same oil galleys as the mains, were essentially clean. No spinning, no scoring, no metal transfer. He called the debris explanation, quote, total BS. His reasoning was simple and physical. Debris floating through the engine's oil supply cannot selectively destroy 4 main bearings while leaving 12 rod bearings on the same crankshaft pristine. Oil doesn't work that way. The contamination would have to hit both sets of bearings at roughly the same rate, and the teardown evidence shows it didn't. That points to a localized failure mode at the main bearing surfaces specifically, which means the issue is bearing tolerance, oiling pressure to the mains, or thermal load under twin turbo boost. In other words, the issue is the way the engine was designed, not the way it was cleaned. And here's why the second recall in November 2025 should terrify any V35A owner. Toyota expanded the recall to 126,691 additional vehicles, admitted in the NHTSA filing that they do not know how many of the affected engines actually contain debris, and pushed the remedy date from April 2026 to July or August 2026. That is a company that ran a manufacturing cleanup, kept seeing failures, and is now 4 years into the problem still without a working fix. Replacement engines are already failing in the field. A Louisiana owner reported her recall replacement engine overheating within 24 hours of pickup in late April 2026. Reddit users inside the Tundra community are pointing out that the 2026 trucks rolling off the line right now still use the same mid-year 2024 bearing spec as the trucks that are seizing on the highway, which raises the question every Tundra owner has to ask. If the debris was the real problem, why is a cleaned engine block, freshly built, with brand new bearings, still showing the same failure signatures after replacement? The honest answer is that you can't clean your way out of a design problem. Which brings us to the high-stakes gamble Toyota is now running in 2026. The company is caught between 2 terrible outcomes. If they keep the debris narrative alive and limit the recall scope, they save billions in immediate replacement costs and they protect the brand's reliability halo. But every additional failure that hits a forum, every additional teardown that goes viral, every additional class action plaintiff who joins the existing case filed by Tom Daly, Marty Holstein, and Terrence Regan tightens the legal noose. If Toyota flips and admits a design flaw, they trigger an expanded recall that could include the hybrids, the Sequoias, the Land Cruiser 300s, and the entire 2024 through 2026 production run. The math on that scenario is brutal. At $20,000 to $25,000 per replacement long block, an honest design recall could cost Toyota $5 to $7 billion in repair work alone, before you add punitive damages from a class action settlement that, based on the comparable Hyundai Theta 2 case, could push the total exposure past $10 billion. So Toyota is gambling that the debris story holds long enough for the trucks to age out of the warranty window, for the failures to become a used market problem instead of a manufacturer problem, and for the brand legacy to absorb the damage. It is a brilliant piece of corporate damage control, and it is also one of the most dangerous bets in the modern automotive industry, because every month that passes adds more evidence that the bearings are the issue. The 2026 Tundra is currently selling about 5.5% below 2024 volumes, which sounds like noise until you stack it against the fact that the rest of Toyota's truck lineup, including the Tacoma, is up over 60% year over year. The Tundra is hemorrhaging buyers quietly, while Toyota tells the public everything is fine. Now look, I'm not telling you Toyota is finished as a brand. They aren't. The Tacoma is selling like crazy, the Camry still owns its segment, and the company will survive this. But the question for you sitting on a 2022 through 2025 V35A truck right now is whether brand loyalty is worth the financial risk of holding a vehicle whose engine architecture may never be properly fixed under warranty. Whether the recall remedy that finally arrives in late 2026, 4 years after the first failures, will actually solve the problem, or just kick it into the secondary market where you, the owner, eat the cost. Drop your V35A story in the comments. Tell me your year, your mileage, your dealer, and whether your engine has been swapped twice, or is still on the waiting list. The more we put on the public record, the harder it gets for Toyota to keep calling this a debris problem.